True North Reviews, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan. Hope you're doing well. Today we'll be discussing the music everyone's been talking about. It is Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Singer and Disney Channel actress Olivia Rodrigo is in the infancy of her music career. No doubt sparked interest after spawning a #1 single earlier in 2021 with Driver's License. It was hard not to hear that song, at least in some capacity, and for the most part, it's a powerful breakup tune displaying plenty of vocal chops and an expansive arrangement around a spotlit piano. Then the follow-up singles came as a change of pace, stylistically showing that Olivia can be eclectic in her range of influences. Hints of pop-punk appear on Good For You, and a bit more of an alt-pop direction comes on Deja Vu. What is clear, though, in listening to the teasers for this album is that while Olivia is trying on different styles and genre for size, she remains mostly rooted in her contemporary pop influences, consisting of the likes of Taylor Swift, Lorde, and Billie Eilish. And given that no two singles are alike, yet there still is an obvious artist you can point toward, the album's expectation, in my opinion, becomes more of a necessity to establish some sort of sonic identity or maturity. Something that can tie together the loose ends, because as much as I enjoy the singles on Sour, it's another thing to be able to cohesively write an album while defining who you are and what you want to talk about. Diving into the track list, the cut Brutal gives the listener a better idea of what Sour's thesis statement might look like, and yes, we are throwing it back to high school English class discussing thesis statements, because this album is more or less a manifestation of high school drama, reputation, facades, and jealousy, all that good stuff. And what Brutal does is that it encompasses the album's sonic and lyrical themes in a mere 2.5 minutes, a concise rundown that ought to be commended. Sonically, I enjoy its sour guitar chords, no pun intended, which those contrast to the delicate strings and quiet outro that has noticeably slowed down in tempo. Lyrically, the track opens up the world of insecurity and growing up with the self-aware angle of how everything is brutal. No doubt I can see generational divide getting in the way of some people's enjoyment, but I do nonetheless. The album then sidesteps into some of its more expansive arrangements in Traitor and Driver's License. I already mentioned my thoughts on the latter, however, Traitor is another spectacle of vocal talent, as much as I don't really care for its lyrics. They are petty and obviously written by a person in a specific situation. If you can relate, then cool. I think they are personal enough. They just leave a bad taste in my mouth. Likely a sour one, obviously. One step forward, 3 steps back is an interesting moment on this record. It actually interpolates a Taylor Swift song. But for the most part, it is an oversimplistic piano ballad about not understanding where Olivia stands with this boy. He loves me not type deal. The song could be better, could be worse in my opinion. I'm pretty indifferent to this one. What I am not indifferent to, and actually loving a great amount, is the track Deja Vu. The cut is essentially an amalgamation of what a Taylor Swift song would sound like if it was performed by Lorde. The guitar effects on here really just reel me in, and they're very unique for mainstream pop. And I can't get enough of the lyrics as well, which this time around, they're not nearly as petty as some of the others on the project. I mean, they're still about an ex. But moving on and repeating the same behaviors with another person, asking, do you get deja vu? It's an interesting concept and idea, especially when you wrap it all up with a Billy Joel reference to Uptown Girl. Another highlight on this project occurs with Good For You, a driving song of guitars right in your face. I get massive hints of female-led 2000s rock like Paramore and Avril Lavigne on this one. But I gotta hand it to Olivia, though. She really does embrace and own the pettiness in her lyrics on Good For You, as well as the passive aggressiveness. It's one of those occasions on the record where the self-awareness is enjoyable and manic all at the same time. The record then, however, experiences a notable dip in quality with the solo-written songs by Olivia herself. Enough For You gives me stylistic whiplash. It's an acoustic guitar ballad with some powerful vocals, but I feel like it's trying to do too much vocally, jumping around from falsettos to belting to talk singing. It's a bit of a mess, unfortunately. The track Happier isn't much better. In fact, it's only worse in my opinion. The switches between vocal registers only become more pronounced. That said, the glaring issue with Happier for me personally comes more from the lyrical content, which is quite revolting. It's about putting a condition or a limit on another person's happiness. Like, I want you to be happy, but not actually as happy as we used to be together. That gives me serious sorry not sorry vibes, and it just comes from a place of major insecurity. Granted, the narrative might have worked in a similar presentation to what's heard on Good For You, but between the bare instrumental and weak songwriting on Happier, it just leaves it high and dry and frankly untenable. Thankfully, regaining some traction on the album is the song Jealousy Jealousy, which spices things up with a solid groove. It finally breaks up the monotony of the snooze fest preceding it. Just don't bother focusing on the lyrics, because you get another heavy helping of high school drama and comparisons on social media, but hey, good on Olivia for calling out those unattainable beauty standards. I at least have to give credit where credit's due. The penultimate track can get some praise from me as well. With Favorite Crime, my first thought when hearing it was, oh no, please not another ballad, because instrumentally it's pretty skeletal, so it magnifies the vocals, but this time they're pretty strong. What could have been a fantastic song, though, in Favorite Crime is somewhat thwarted by the bridge, which is laughable and makes no sense for the song to be almost rapping when the rest is sung so beautifully. I have similar feelings on the closer, Hope You're Okay, which this song is one of the most different on the album lyrically, since it's one of two tracks that tell a story unrelated to a breakup. Of course, it still maintains its sadness and sorrow with the gloomy vocals and instrumentation, but the Lord influence is a little too obvious for me to get into. And that's probably the biggest detracting factor from Sour. It's Olivia Rodrigo being an artist still trying to find herself and her identity on this debut. It's only emphasized and underpinned by the genre hopping this album undergoes. That said, it's not all that surprising. This is a project coming from a Disney Channel star. Rodrigo clearly has some tough decisions to make going forward on Sour. The promise is there. The maturity will likely come later. As of right now, I'm pretty torn on this album. Some songs have me screaming, yes, I want more of this, while others just leave me frustrated, like I'm listening to a high school drama queen. The replay factor could be there, most likely will be derived from the powerful performances and melodies, but personally, I'll need to blind myself from most of the lyrics if I want to return to this. I'm feeling a 6 out of 10, slightly above average pop album, nothing more, nothing less. Will likely be the breakup album of the year for many. But there you have it. There is the album review. Make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Tell me what you guys think of this music, whether you agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. I'd appreciate that. As always, thanks for watching and have a rockin' day.